Hello, everybody, and welcome. No?
No, keep it. Keep it. It's cool.
It's cool? You like it?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it works?
Fitting. Fitting. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know. We'll do one of these. There we go. I'm totally in my office, everybody. I am not somewhere else in the world. I'm in my office, I swear it. So, what's up, man? How you been? Doing well?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
That's
Doing
good.
What about yourself?
I'm just realizing that when I originally went live, there was 23 viewers, and I sat here bullshitting with you long enough to drop it to 15, and I was like, "That's the way we do things here." we wasted enough time to lose. What's that, like 40%?
We're 6 minutes late.
Oh no, I don't think it's the starting late. I think it's the what is it? You know what? This person's crazy.
I forget that you never mute yourself. That's right.
I do mute myself, but then I eventually unmute because I want Joey to know that I am at my computer and not pressing live, as opposed to just randomly, you know, like upstairs getting coffee or something like that. I want him to know that we're not live, even though I'm at my computer and actively in a conversation with the PC or PCs. Yeah, right? Isn't that the way to do it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
that's what I thought. All right. I gotta get a haircut. Get one tomorrow. So how's your week going? You said it's going well? How are the kids?
Yeah, no, they're both good.
When do they start summer break?
Keep me going, but when is it? It's like December the 20th or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's right before Christmas?
Yeah, and then they're off for 6 weeks.
Jesus. Oh, man. It's nice when after Christmas is over, we get them for like a week. And then we're like, get the fuck back in school. Get in there.
But how long is your... Is it spring break, which is like that period that you used to have off or something?
We call holiday break or winter break or Christmas break, depending on what state you're in. A week.
How long is it? You don't used to have like a large holiday period.
I think it's a week. I don't know. Well, there's spring break, which is in like March or something. Dude, I haven't been in school in fucking 35. Like, and I never graduated college. So, like, for me, go to college was, I did a semester. I drank a lot, And my daughter's young enough that her school time, I'm like, I don't know. Like, for instance, she doesn't have school today. Why? Because the teachers feel like not having school today. They're having their conferences, and today's like a teacher. It's like, do you need a whole day for that? What do you?
Was it scheduled? Like, is it a scheduled day?
Yeah. But it's one of those things where it's like so random that you don't really think about it, because it's like you get it in like the school calendar, but then like when you actually get to the week, you're like, oh shit, you don't have school tomorrow, do you? Oh fuck, because like you don't think about it, like. Because it's not like you're there. It's not like you're part of the conferencing. It's like, no, you keep them. It's like, why? What are you doing? We're talking. Well, don't you guys talk every day? Yeah, but we're like talking more. You couldn't do that in an email or a memo? No? You had to gather everybody around in a Zoom call? Like, I don't know. Anyways.
Teachers here get good amounts of holidays. I think they get like 2 months at least off a year.
I mean, they have summer break here, which is what, 2.5 months or something. The music sounds like it might be a bit loud. 2.5 months or something like that for their summer. And then they have, as you had mentioned, there's a spring break, which is like a week, I think. And then they have some schools have February vacation too, and then they have their winter break, which is for Christmas, and that's like a week as well. So it's like 3 weeks and like 4 months or something. But that February one that I was mentioning, a lot of schools around here are starting to get rid of that, because like, let's say for instance there's snow days, which is something that happens often. If there's more than 5 snow days, the kids have to actually come back in the summertime to make up all the additional days off after 5. So they're like, so they're like, why don't we just like not do this stupid vacation, and then we don't have to worry about snow days. How's that? Because like you get it off in December and you get it off in March. Do you really need one in February? Like, do you really?
It is like snow day is a common thing.
Yeah. Like if all of a sudden like the skies opened up and just took a huge, 2.5 foot dump on your neighborhood, and the plows are like, we're not ready yet, and the buses are like, yeah, we have nowhere to put the children. Then, yeah, I mean, school delays are more common, where it's like, oh, just give us an extra hour. Your parents can go to work late. Their bosses totally don't care. Okay.
See, it's hard for me to relate there because I've seen snow twice in my life. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And what, did it last a day?
I had to go there, like, to the snow place. So I was there for a few days. But...
Wait a second, you had to go to the snow place?
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 hours away.
Schools do not close in Norway over snow. I imagine you're green. Like, if there's a foot, we don't close over a foot over here. We can handle a fucking foot. If there's a 1.5 feet and it happens gradually starting the night beforehand, you're not closing over a 1.5 feet. But if it starts at like 4 a.m. and it dumps like a 1.5 feet of snow between like 4 a.m. and 8 a.m., yeah, no. If it's a goddamn blizzard, no. Because it's not safe for the children, because there's no spots on the sidewalks for them to stay. You have cars spinning out because like Rhode Islanders don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're just like taking out 4 kids in a spin out, like, ah! And then you have a neighborhood of grieving, and they have like a mad meeting or something. I don't know. So they just like,
I love how that was comedic, but it really wasn't. It wasn't to think about.
You know what's happened.
I started to laugh and I was like, oh, I'm actually listening to what he's saying.
Maybe you shouldn't. Just don't listen. All right. Should we we came here to play a game. That's a podcast about the difference between my winter and yours. Unless you want to talk about summertime. We can go into summertime. Like, have the tires in your car ever melted?
Not mine, but not far from where I was, they did.
Yeah.
Lots of people's did, which was not good.
I was gonna say probably what, northwest of where you are. You've probably had
west,
yeah, west. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Like that nice big hole in the ozone layer.
Like I told you, it's like it's only been summer for 2 days here, and we've already had 2 40-degree days. So it's gonna be a hot
I'm sorry.
one.
Can you translate that to freedom for me?
No.
That's why there's a little superscript circle and an F for freedom. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Like, you have a C for colony. I have an F for freedom. That's how this works. All right, let me hold on. 40 to Fahrenheit. 104. Oh, yeah. Like 104. Oh my God. Ugh. Do you get humid around Sydney? I imagine so, because you're near the ocean.
We do. However, those 2 days we had like a 22% humidity, so we were lucky.
Yeah. Yep. Because that's the thing about New England is we get 104 on every once in a great, like I'd say once every few years you get a heat wave, and it might peak at 104 for like a day tops, and that's every few years you hit something like that. But our humidity is always sitting at like 98%. You know what I mean? So you just feel like the whole planet is just like crushing it at you. It's like, yeah, sit in the sauna, you piece of Oh, it's not fun. Okay, so water plane of water. Would you like to?
That's right.
I want you to recount what happened last session, because you had a great time, and I want to make sure everybody knows how great of a time you had.
Okay, well, I made my way to the portal, to the water place, and I was seen by a giant who wanted to kill me. I had to run away or be killed. Then I went through the water portal, and didn't take any breaths. And
Is that
when I arrived,
is that for game mommy right there? Just making sure she knows you didn't open your mouth.
What? Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And
just want to point out,
we...
Grishka was swimming in white stuff last session. Nope, that's a quote from her.
But he didn't swallow, so he has that going for him. Then when he got there, he had to. He was like crushed by the pressure and had to swim into a rip and then out of a rip in order to get into this bubble, which he then fell a bunch. And did I go back outside the bubble? I think I did, and had to swim back into it again.
Yeah, because when you try to like pierce through the bubble a moment with your hand or whatever, it kind of like sucks you in, and then you fell. You're like, I am free. Ow. And so it kicked you back out. You had to get your way back in.
Yeah, I wish Neil was in chat because I know he's making it hard to focus.
Neil probably is in chat.
Well, I hope he reads. And then I tried to talk to these people that I found, these creatures, and they tried to push me back out of the bubble. I had to go invisible and hide. And that's where we left off.
Awesome. And this is Sahagin. Thank you, Steve. And last question. This one's for for all the coins. Are you the guest on the Erothian spoiler cast this week?
No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure you still had standards.
Oh, shots fired. Hopefully they and their guest will return them.
Listen, eventually, every once in a while, they have like quality guests, like Josh or like Joey. You know what I mean? People that bring like the love for what it is that they do. And then every once in a while, they bring on somebody like Rena, and they're like, "Yeah, this didn't really work out. Let's kind of like fluff around Rena next time we bring her on." You know, and then just like fill it in. They're like just keep bringing them in. Nope, leave the chains open. Keep bringing them in. Keep bringing them in. We want conversations actually interesting. And oh, Jesus.
Are you saying Reno requires a fluffer? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you said?
I think that was my phrasing. Not my meaning. My meaning is Rena is boring, but you know, we can go with that. Anyways, let's continue.
Gotta put that bottle of Doers out the back.
Excuse me, Green, you already know that I want you to go on to that spoiler cast and have a discussion about the Outer Planes. We want you to go there and have a conversation with the boys about the planes, especially since you actually played a campaign with them. You guys can make additional references that really only me and Anna would get on top of that. We do need Anna on there just so he can be horrible to everybody, you know? All right, so you turned invisible and you ran from the Sahagin. Now, I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if Grishka knows this or not, but Sahagin have an extremely keen sense of smell. I mean, extremely keen sense of smell. They actually have effectively blind sense due to their sense of smell in water. Like the way that a shark...
Yeah, Grishka doesn't, but you had said that at the end.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah. And again, it's in water, however, just like a shark does for smelling blood and so on and so forth. So when you go sneaking off, as you're like near to them and they're in where you are, it happens to be extremely moist. I mean, it has to be moist, right? Like you're literally inside a bubble of water, you know, so on and so forth. You can see immediately as you look back at them, they're glancing over and they're like looking in the direction that you ran off to, and you say, they're sniffing the air and they're looking about for where it is that you are, where you're trying to hide. I just need from you one more stealth check, and mind you, you still get the plus 20 for being invisible. Oh, Jesus Christ. You're like walking out the gates. I'm not playing this game, Scott.
54. 54.
Oh my God. So is this where the moist nights come from? No, those moist nights come from the fact that Jake and I are both very warm boys and we spoon naked. That's right.
True.
That's right.
True.
And if you want to know who Little Spoon is, neither of us. We sleep face to face. We want to share each other's breath. Sorry.
I enjoyed it.
You know, Anno, if you're saying that's how spooning works, all you have to do is come and show us. Come on. Come show us. All right. So, oh, you know what it is? The thing is, like, Jake and I, we go to spoon, but there is no spoon. Sorry. Reference would have been funnier 15 seconds prior. So, all right, you go running off through the city. Now, it's not, Grishka's not an idiot. He's very efficient with hiding. He's not just going to go running, just like, ah! And see where he randomly ends up inside the city, right? He's going to take like a run up to like the nearest building, cut his way around it, happy to realize there's some, pungent smelling people nearby and step on the other side of them. Hopefully the perfumes or whatever that they're wearing mask the smell of him. So as they come walking by, they legitimately go right past him. It's one of those, it's not like within arm's reach. They're like a good, 10 feet, 3 meters or so away from you as they go walking by. Giving you a chance to kind of watch it. And Grishka waits the additional like 15, 20 seconds to make sure they go up, they have a conversation, the two of them turn around the corner and go off. The likelihood of them remembering you enough to find you again is pretty slim as well. They were only with you for a short period of time, so it's not like one of those bloodhounds got the sense they can't let it go. You're probably fine moving forward. I mean, you'd be quite cursed if you bumped into them again. You know what I mean? Like,
nice. Nice phrasing. I like it.
So, listen, we all love Steve. So,
the giant comes through the portal. He's followed me.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. Anyways, they step away, and that gives you a moment to kind of like step back out of the little, almost like alcove that you had stepped into. Now, give me a moment to describe the buildings that you see here. The buildings that you see in the area they're not like Disney castle-esque, right? Where it looks like they took a above ground castle and they just shoved it underground, right? Or underwater, I should say. What happens is the actual building that you see, the structure that you see here, as I mentioned before, when you're swimming towards the bubble, it almost looks kind of like a sea cave, where as you are inside the bubble, you can see it looks like much of it was carved out of, and granted, carved in a very fancy way. There's a lot of design, intricate design and whatnot to it. It looks like it was carved out of the stalagmites and stalactites built in an underground massive sea cavern. That happens to be down here, but in a very, again, ornate way. So it wasn't just the stalagmites and stalactites. It's also a bit of a coral reef style, where it looks like it's not just typical rock. It's like that living rock where you have a bunch of different creatures that can actually breathe the air of being inside the bubble that can continue to survive down here, that happen to be like growing out of the sides of these buildings. There's areas where there's bits of shell and whatnot that decorate the sides of the buildings and everything. It's actually quite beautiful, quite ornate. As you step out and looking about the market area, not the market area, the area where you currently are, you can see that some of the buildings around you even have a bit of a glisten or a glimmer. Like what it is that they did as they took all old, almost like mussel, oyster, and clam shells, and like the inside of those shells have like a nice sheen to them. It's like they use that as like a decorative, so you have like these fun little, almost like twinkling lights that happen around you in different areas coming off the buildings. Again, it's one of those things that if you were a person that appreciated art, Grishka might sit there and be like, wow, this is beautiful. Let me check out the architect. Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. So giving that as a backdrop for, of course, your mind's eye, for what it is that Grishka notices is a whole bunch of like hard-shaped buildings. Everything here has like almost a jaggedness to it. Whereas under the sea, wow, Jesus Christ, Otto. Otto's going to be happy with something that's going to be coming his way soon as an option, very soon as an option that he could actually almost afford. Underground, you think, oh, erosion causes things to become, a little bit more rounded, so on and so forth. Not true. Erosion with salt makes things very jagged, makes things very sharp. And so a lot of the buildings here actually come off as being a bit dangerous. Like if you were to walk bare-bodied near to them, like bump into them, whatever it is, you can definitely see your arm or whatever it is getting scuffed up or scratched, just like if you were over by sea rocks by the ocean. You know what I mean? So you kind of get that impression off of the things here. The people down here, there's a myriad of different peoples that you see down here. First and foremost, of course, you see Sahagin. And obviously you also see the elementals that are almost like the way that they're moving through the area. They seem to be maybe patrolling through the area. The way they kind of moving up and down in patterns. You can see a lot of elementals moving about. Beyond that, the other creatures that you see are a very strange mix of creatures that clearly come off as being very aquatic and others that come off as being where you're from, the prime material plane, just like a human or a parent or the like. As I said before, you kind of ducked around the corner around people that happen to be very pungent. The people that you happen to be standing there, they themselves have a bit of like a sheen to them, almost like a bit of a slime or some sort of membrane that must be on the surface of their skin. Their bodies are again a little strange to you. Their features a little strange. Their eyes much larger than the eyes of a typical person. Their structure gives you the idea that they probably don't have a hard skeleton the way that others do. Maybe a little bit more squishy. And they're definitely wearing heavy perfumes. Either way, you had tucked behind there, allowed everybody else to pass. Then you step out, took a moment to take in all of this. What's immediately on Grishka's mind? What's he kind of thinking about?
He's trying to think of. He's scanning because he's probably trying to see if there is anyone like himself, because he needs to find somewhere to rest. It's he's getting tired. It's been a long time, and he wants somewhere to lay down, relax, and spend the night. And then he doesn't want to stay here long. He wants to keep going. He's got a mission, and he has to make his way to the negative energy plane.
Of course. So, as you said, you want to find a place to spend the night. You're literally just looking for like an inn or a tavern, or a tavern would be alcohol, right? An inn or something like that where you can actually get a bed to spend the night. So you to find this, are you just gonna like go walking around asking random people? Are you gonna go and just kind of like walk around yourself and see if you can read the signs? Because Grishka, correct me if I'm wrong, does not speak Aquan. However, you did cast that spell. Does that spell give you read and write as well, or just
I believe verbal? It does, but I will double check it right now.
Oh yeah, game mommy or shinny, I should say. Steve blows through his daddies. Steve has fun.
Yes, I can speak, read, and write it.
Okay, cool. So you can actually walk around and you can read the written word in Aquan, but this place where you are, this city that you're in, for whatever it's worth, it's not so stupid as to assume everybody can read the language. They actually have a lot of their signs out front are done with like images to help people get a bit of an understanding. Some of the images you do understand, and some of them you're like, I'm not getting it. No.
Yeah.
No, I don't get it.
one thing I would like to do is just kind of move where there's not really many people. I want to put my armor back on while I'm here.
You want to put what?
I took it off to swim through the thing, but I want to put my armor back on.
Oh, yeah, sure. So like right while you're still invisible, you're gonna kind of step back into that little alcove. Now, to be clear, it's not like an alleyway. It's like a little alcove, a little inlet, because again, everything here is designed, almost looks like it's carved out of a sea cave. So you step back into that little alcove or whatever, and you start trying to put your armor on. I imagine you're trying to do so with a degree of discretion. You can slide a hand for me.
I don't think I can slide a hand, thanks.
I mean, you can. You're just gonna suck at it.
Well, yeah. 7.
So while you're over there trying to put your armor back on, trying to get yourself all adorned, protected, so on and so forth, at one point in time, while you're over there, something walking by just kind of like stops and looks over at the area. The creature that stops and looks over at where you are, it's very, very, very strange looking. First and foremost, it's wearing almost no clothing. But to be fair, you're not entirely sure what kind of clothing it could wear, because it stands there with this big bulbous head at the top of a elongated, strange looking body with 4 legs coming down the bottom and 2 arms coming out the side. Each arm and leg, it's weird, almost seems like it's made out of some sort of like jelly or something, with the fact that it moves in such strange ways. And there's strange little circles all along one side of each one of those strange arms and legs that are there. It stops and it looks over in your direction once again with eyes much larger than any, like, looks like eyes like a massive horse put onto a much smaller body. You know what I mean? Like, they are massive black eyes, and they look over towards the direction of where it is that you're doing what you're doing. And it just seems to be stopping and regarding. You see no mouth, you see no nose, you see no features like that on this creature.
All right, I'll just stop for a second, kind of like pulling on like a glove or something like that, and I just hold it and just watch.
Yep. It takes like a step in, like it's looking towards what's inside there, and then you actually hear something in Aquan say, like oh, because Aquan is very strange sounding. It sounds almost like, oh, this is fun to do with hot coffee. Hold on. Hot. Oh, black coffee, that's fun. So anyways, you what it says that, and what it is like listening to it, because you of course have the spell on you. You realize it's saying, someone's in there. I can see your patterns moving. Who are you? What are you doing? But roll me a sense motive before you respond.
Okay.
Christ, use all of them. I want the next PC to have nothing but ones, okay? Nothing but ones. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is great. All right, so you get the impression very quickly this person is not an authoritative figure. You get the impression almost immediately this person is just like somebody happened to pass by, happened to, as I said, they can see your patterns moving, like happened to notice that you were in there, and are just, you imagine being more like a concerned citizen or a passerby than you imagine somebody who has actually any authority. And even beyond that, you almost get the impression, based off of the tone of voice, the word selection, so on and so forth, because clearly reading the body language is hard, because you've never seen such a body like this before. You get the impression that it almost seems like they're trying to extend help, like, are you okay? Like, do you need help? Sort of a thing. I mean, a 40-cent motive. You also know that they really like long swings along the shoreline of the beach, and they're a really sensitive soul. They like rom-coms, but they prefer to watch them by themselves, where they can really get into the character. And
Sensing that, he just says,
Let me guess. Lake house. Yeah, I got you.
Netflix and chill, maybe?
Yeah. Hey,
My place? Oh, your place here?
listen, when Jake and I Netflix and chill, we don't watch rom-coms. We watch Queen's Gambit, okay? We're like, yeah, give me some tranks. Let's do this.
Yeah. There also might be some beard touching, but we'll leave that for another time.
It's called getting entangled. Jake and I get entangled.
Entangled, yeah, that's a good one. What did it say to me again?
It says, what is it? Who are you? What are you doing there? I can see your patterns.
Yeah, he says, I'm just donning my armor. And then he says, could you help me with something? I'm wondering if there's a communal place to stay. I'm in need of rest.
They take another, again, like I said, there's like 4 weird looking legs or whatever they are, coming down the bottom of the thing. Takes like another like 2 steps forward, with these strange looking legs. And as it takes the steps forwards, it says a communal place for rest. Do you mean you're looking for an inn?
Yes, I am.
You're not from here, are you?
No, I've only just arrived.
I don't mean the city, because you're asking for direction. You're not from here, are you?
Picking up what he's talking about, he says, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
It responds saying, there are many here who can see through what it is that you're doing, or smell through where it is that you're hiding. What are you hiding from?
When I entered he looks around, bubble, I had come across those who wished to rob me and throw me out.
Do you have a description of them?
He describes them. I can't remember.
He's like, I don't know, all Sahagin look the same. And the guy's like, damn! No, you didn't! No, so, racism's funny in fantasy, right? Like when everybody makes fun of gnomes, it's funny. It's okay. Okay, all orcs are dumb? No? It's not okay? Okay, it's not okay. Bad Scott. All right, so anyways.
I'm not even going there.
Anyways, so you, you describe them and he's like, sounds like they're from, a local gang that happens to be around here, the Razortooth. You shouldn't have many issues with them. They don't have repeat actions. I can show you to a place, but I need to make sure that I can see what I'm working with. You're an orc. It says, kind of like looking at you, trying to be discerning.
When he says that, there's not that he would be able to see it, I guess, but there's almost like a look of surprise on Gritch's face, and he says, "I am. How did you know?"
It takes one of its strange looking arms and places it against the wall, and you can see like across its entire body. It's not like it moves from the hand out. Its entire body just starts to change as the colors go to match the wall that it's touching. And at the same time as its colors match the wall that it's touching, you can see even like the texture of its skin and everything matches it as well. The only thing that doesn't transform is that one tiny little bit of clothing it wears right underneath its head and above its legs, which stands out as a stark contrast to everything else that it is. And it says, because I'm good at noticing these things.
He will, finishing donning the armor, and he'll just switch off the invisibility. He'll say, "Have you come across many orcs before?"
You can see its like large head shakes as its colors again uniformly transition back, and it transitions We're talking quick. We're talking like a second and a half is the transition. It's really fast. It shakes its head. No. Occasion and stories.
Well, you can see me now?
It nods, saying, I can.
So you can see me clearly now, whereas before you could see, you said, an energy?
Shakes its head. I see the pattern around you moving. It's a blurred image, and I can see more or less your outline and where the magic that you're using is discolored. It's not perfect.
Interesting. It's a good ability to have.
It doesn't respond.
He just kind of waits because he's waiting to go or whatever this thing's taking him.
After there's a long, strange silence, it says, "Did you need help putting that on?"
I thought I'd already put it on.
Oh, you were in the middle of it. Yeah. That's why as you were putting on your armor and making noise, they noticed you.
Yeah. I've been continually doing it this whole time, so I was like, I think I'll be fine. I'm nearly done anyway.
It nods and then says, "I'll show you the way to the inn."
Thank you.
It nods again and says, "What brings you here?"
He says, I'm traveling through the plains. I need to get to the negative energy plane.
Negative energy plane. Oh, you mean the deep.
The deep?
If you travel down where it gets colder and darker and heavier around you, eventually you get to a place where it's so cold and dark that the salt just is too much. Things can't survive there. Everything dies. It's just too heavy with the salt. And if you travel even further through there, it's said that's the deep.
I see. And is there no other way? Do I have to go through this salt place?
That's the way there. You must swim down. Some would say you could swim forever, but there's ways. If you know the right path, it'll be a long swim, but it won't be forever. If you go the wrong way, you could swim until your grandchildren have died of old age, and you would still not have begun your journey.
I can't breathe underwater, so that might be an issue. Is there no portal or anything closer, like how I got here?
It shakes its head and says, "If there are such things, I do not know of them." Are there portals that you come across often? Portals, perhaps, to your home?
I've heard of two now. I came from Vroga's plane. How I got there, well, I asked him to bring me there, and then I was there.
Vroga is a person.
Vroga is my god.
Oh. I've never heard of this Vroga.
Who do you worship?
I don't.
Interesting. Well, where I'm from, people worship gods, and mine is Vroga. As I was saying,
I'm familiar with the concept. There is a god here that people worship. Luthar, the betrayer redeemed, Lord of the Sea.
Religion check?
Yeah, you can roll a religion check. As like sees like a blank stare in your face. Continues, Lord of the Sea. No. Big Finn. No. Okay. All right. At 29, you're like, that's right. You actually do recall, because where you're from, the Barren Lands, there are some that worship Luthar, but those are the southern or Karak, like the ones that are along the coast. You're not from the coast, so, but you do recall hearing of those that worship the betrayer redeemed.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but what was said?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Anno. He's like, betrayer redeemed? No. Lord of the Sea? No. Daddy shark doo 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 doo. Daddy shark doo 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 doo. Daddy shark doo 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 doo. Then you must also know Mommy shark doo 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 doo. Mommy shark doo doo doo.
I've heard that so much. I'm glad my kids are older now.
Oh, my daughter doesn't give a shit. She doesn't like it. She's 5. She's like, I want to listen to Hamilton, Dad. She'll be like, how did this bastard son of a whore? That's what my daughter thinks, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wholesome things.
Not even joking. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just thinking back, what was said to me in regards to the water plane? Do they have an alliance of sorts, or there's something between them and Vroga?
I'm sorry?
You know how he said, what did Tu say? He said something about, I don't know if they have a relationship, Vroga, and there was something said about the water plane being on either good terms or something. I can't remember what it was.
It's not. So there's an understanding between the two planes. I should say between the two gods. And while one of them is, so this plane is not currently at war with Nankaru. Eventually, they said eventually all are going to have to choose a side, sort of a thing. So.
Yeah. Okay. He just sort of nods and says, yeah, there are some not too far from where I grew up that worship, I can't remember what you called it, but yeah.
Luthar.
Luthar, yeah. He'll say, so after I was brought... Luthar sounds better.
No. It's all good. It's fine.
Yeah, he'll just say, after I was brought there, I was told there was a portal to somewhere else. I don't know where. One of my companions has gone that way. But also, I was informed of a portal here. So they are the only ones that I know.
So no direct portals back to where it is that you're from?
Not directly. I can once again ask for help should I need it, and I may be able to return home that way. But I have a mission, and I need to get to Nankara. Sorry, he wouldn't say Nankara. He'd say the Arbiter.
It nods and says, I have reason for wanting to leave this place. If you can provide aid for me in going to elsewhere, preferably to where you're from, where things are different, then I believe I would be able to provide as much aid as you would like in accomplishing your task.
Do I get any ulterior motive behind what he's saying?
I mean, their ulterior motive was plainly stated. I'll help you if you help me.
Yeah, do I have like a bad feeling? Like why he wants to go there kind of thing?
I mean, you imagine that it sounds like I have a reason for wanting to leave this place. Sounds like they're running from something. You know what I mean? But you don't get, it's not one of those things like, does he look like he's in trouble with the mob? Does he look like he wants to murder? Like, you don't get any vibes of like that. You look a little Dexter, you know, nothing like that. So.
All right.
Like, what's your name, sir? Dexter. Never mind. But you only kill bad people, right? I kind of do that. You know what? Actually, it's okay. You're chaotic good. I get it. Yep. Or lawful evil. That's okay.
Well, you're messing with my chain of thought. He'll say, it seems reasonable. So you're willing to accompany me if I'm willing to take you with me when I go home?
Are you going places before you go home? You said you're going to the deep. How would you survive down there?
He lets out a little laugh and he says, well, that's yet to be determined. I'm not sure on that one, but I've been told that's where I need to go. So I figure there must be something I can do. I'm also to speak with the one in charge there. So
with the Arbiter.
Yes.
Quite a stir about the Arbiter as of late.
I've just been informed myself.
Things have gotten strange. Many people have started to move. There's a lot of mobilization.
I hear that war has come and that many more would be joining.
You can hear, if you listen carefully, the drums are beginning to beat. They're far off still, but that doesn't mean that they're not coming. They'll make their way, beating through the waters, from the deep and around, calling to it all that would heed the call, willing to fight. It is concerning. I imagine the amount of bloodshed is going to be remarkable. There will be a frenzy. There will be a feast. Last time this happened, last time there was a battle like this in these waters, that's when the razor tooth came into existence. They amassed much power, gathering together in great numbers with the behemoths that they would ride with. If this happens again, I can imagine what kind of power that they themselves will be able to amass. I mentioned before there wouldn't be much of a concern, but they certainly could be at that point.
The razor tooth?
The Sahagin that you came across.
Ah.
They have a symbiotic relationship with a type of fish, with a shark. But sharks here are not just in one size. They're small, about as long as maybe your arm, and massive. It is said in legends there are sharks large enough that they could even puncture through the bubble that protects a city from the interlopers, that could devour huge buildings in one bite. Those things sleep, but the drums of war and enough bloodshed could waken them.
Well,
his name is Flipper. Flipper. King of the sea.
Sounds like they will be woken soon.
We can only hope that it doesn't.
He nods, and he says, "I've seen people not from here, from where I'm from. How do they get around?"
There are powerful mages that are said to be able to step from one place to the other. But most people, they leave outside the bubble, either swimming naturally or with magics, and some able to control the various bubbles and bring them with them.
I'm at an impasse because even with your help, I can't breathe underwater, and the pressure will kill me if I go deeper. Is there no other way to leave this place? Somewhere easier to get to? Or
With the bubble.
if that is the only way, then I need to find out how to get one of these bubbles. So, can you tell me what you know of the deep?
I know that when you go down, and you get to the areas where it gets much more salty. This may sound strange. Joey, there was a community campaign where I played a female character that totally wasn't a dwarf. Josh was the DM. It was in Aurorum. If you go all the way down, there's an area where the water around you, despite the pressure, despite the everything that you might assume about it, it almost becomes like open air, like this here. And beneath that, there is its own ocean, its own layer of water that you can dive into. That is itself a bit of a portal that you can step into. That brings you to the deep, to where the salt is so extreme it kills anybody who steps into it within minutes at most. That's the deep. And there are ways to get to it. I have heard legends of a few of them. And what you're referring to, the dark is beneath the deep. You would have to traverse that then, until you got to where it's so dark, life can't exist.
This does. He kind of laughs, and he'll put his hand on just the axe head that is Orst, and he says, "Oh, that sounds very easy to do." Trying to raise his eyebrows as he looks at the axe, and he's like, "So the deep kills in a matter of minutes.
Not
Supposed to go through."
Well, usually those that go down there, they have a degree of magic that they use to protect themselves. Something that allow them to survive the transition. Or they bring with them a bubble. By legend, of course. I've never actually gone to the deep before. It gets... For someone like me, I could survive the pressure. I'm built different from you. I don't mind the pressure the way that you do. But you can... But it's the amount of salt that gets to me. Then there's the bubbles, like the giant bubble that you're in right now. Smaller versions of this can be broken away and brought with, but you have to maintain them. They take active work. If you can maintain them, they can travel far down and keep things safe. They would, in theory, allow you to survive down there. As far as I understand, though, the bubble doesn't protect against everything. It just protects against degrees of things. It'll still be cold. The bubble can't maintain all warmth. This bubble is warm because of the amount of people inside of it and the vents that blow into it. It can protect against the amount of salt, but it can't stop all of it. Some amount of it will get through, and it'll change it and make the water harder to breathe and harder to taste. And then the amount of pressure, it'll help fight against the pressure. But the bubble itself must increase in pressure lest it be popped. So it reduces the degrees of things for you, but not everything. And the whole while, you're subjected to being a prisoner of that bubble. Should it ever burst, you would immediately be suffering all degrees of everything around you. Bubbles like this can be taken away. If you have the right coin in the right hand, it works. Or you can clip off a bit of the bubble yourself if you have the know-how.
Well, I do not have the know-how, so it's like we must buy it.
I know a bit how to take out a bit of the bubble. I have the arms to do so. It's not as strong as, say, somebody that has the magics to reinforce it, but it travels for a bit of time.
Are there no... I feel strange saying this here, but caravans of sorts or anything that travel between places?
What is that? I thought I understood, but
I feel strange saying this, but there are no like caravans or things that travel between the places. Groups of merchants or any that go from one place to another.
There are merchants that do traverse, but again, I assume these people have powerful magics. But certainly there's no giant gateway wherein people just walk through freely. And bringing, you mentioned caravans. I assume you mean things for carrying their goods.
Yes. I must think on this, and especially how to go about it. Can you take me somewhere I can rest? Do you have a home here that I may sleep at?
I also am utilizing a local place of rest for me to gather my strength each evening, or each day, let's say.
Well, let's return there and gather our strength and plan what we can do.
And so he will, or she, or whatever it is, they will go and lead you to a place of rest. Which, fun fact, one of my favorite actors just came out as being came out yesterday or the day before as being trans, and I'm like, wow, it's freaking awesome. It's legitimately one of my favorite actors. Yeah, Elliot Page. It's so freaking cool. So I always loved Ellen Page. Like, amazing. Like, very, very, very talented. Granted, the Umbrella Academy is absolute fucking garbage. Like, it started off as a nifty concept, was done very poorly, and ended absolutely horribly. So I won't watch season 2. That shit. But that doesn't change the fact that their role in it was portrayed well. The fact that it's just a shitty Dark Phoenix story is not the actor's fault. That's just the writers not knowing how to write anything unique or fun. But if you watch things like Juno or Hard Candy and stuff like that, like, those movies are absolutely amazing. But continuing on, season 2 was better, but that doesn't change the fact that season 1 was just a shitty Dark Phoenix. Which, speaking of shitty Dark Phoenix, did you guys actually see X-Men Dark Phoenix? Also a shitty story. They actually lead you to a place where you can get sleep. And it's funny because the sign actually shows 2 images. It actually shows a bubble and it shows a bed on the sign, which is nice. And when you go into the place, obviously they can see clearly by looking at you what kind of room you're looking to get for yourself. They're not going to guess, oh, do you want to go in a bubble of water? You want to sit in a bathtub? They know that that's not for you. You can obviously pay for a room. Currency here is a little strange because you could, of course, pay with gold. Gold is interplanar. It has value. But it's one of those things where they ask, you're like, okay, how much is the room going to be? They say, oh, it's going to be 4. And you're like, oh, 4 golden coins. There's, oh, no, 4 quality pearl? Like, oh, pearls? I've got gold. Oh, in that case, 40. 40?
He nods.
40. So you pay
you pay the 40.
You pay the 40 gold, and you give it to them, and so they take the gold, and they'll bring you to your room, and it's actually fun because the room that you go into is extremely comfortable because the material that you sleep on is this like strange spongy material, but whatever that material is made out of, which you think it might be alive, whatever spongy material that is, underneath it is like a sack of water. So it's just like, it's like a pillow top water mattress. You're like, this is the greatest thing ever. Oh my God. It's like, of course, water mattresses are absolutely terrible for you. And so you're going to wake up with a bad back, but we'll worry about that in the morning. So, waterbed, whatever you want to call it, they're terrible for you. So when you, go climbing onto the thing, you can get like a nice degree of rest. Roll me a fortitude save. No reason. The fortitude save is only to depict my disdain for water mattresses. The 70s were not a good time. All right, there you go. You survive the water mattress. You wake up with only mild back pain. You know, if you stretch for like a good 15, 20 minutes in the morning, or you just go walking around for about an hour and change, eventually the mild back pain will go away. You're sitting here like, oh, this is what it feels like to be a boomer. Shoot.
How many people actually slept on a waterbed?
I imagine very few, considering the average age there is in the 20s. So...
I remember as a kid, maybe when I was like 7 or something, someone I knew had one. So I have, but I don't remember what it was like. But I've never seen one since. So
yep. They're terrible. They're terrible. I mean, I've slept on a waterbed maybe a dozen times. But, you know, of course, I had the uncle that had one. You know what I mean? That always be like, I want to get fish and put it inside there. It's like...
Was he single?
No. No, he's also a Trump supporter and literally has balls hanging from the back of his F-150. So, you know, he's one of those. We're going to put fish in there. I remember that distinctly being like, I remember asking, how do you clean out the water? That's more or less the conversation.
What do you mean clean the water?
Yeah. Like,
this water isn't already clean?
Like forethought, like, I don't know. Anyways. But never slept in it. Hey, gay mommy, you get yours. So you,
there's a common theme here, and because the person was for me was my uncle's as well, so it's everybody's uncle had one.
Yeah, right. Everybody's uncle. It's like my dad was a decent person, but my uncle had a waterbed. Oh, I get it. Did he have a stash too? Yeah. I get it.
I don't think so, unfortunately.
It's like, did he have a beard before beards were considered trendy? Did he have like, you know, a beard, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Shit, ain't taking it dark. Like, no, all my uncles died. Oh, man. Ouch.
What'd you bring up uncles for? Scott?
Yeah, sorry, triggered. Whoops, sorry. Okay, well, it got really dark. Welcome to America. So
everybody has guns.
Yeah. So if he lived in America, he would have had a gun too. He could have shot her back. Like, sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Sorry for your loss.
What are we doing? Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So moving on. You wake up in the morning, feeling like P. Diddy. No, you wake up in the morning, you have mild back pain, but otherwise you're okay. You don't have fatigue or anything like that. I'm not going to make you suffer a penalty to strength or constitution or dexterity due to sleeping on a waterbed. You wake up in the morning.
You would do that too.
You wake up in the morning, and when you go to have like food here, the food's absolutely delicious. It's kelp.
Oh, kelp. Lovely. Before I go there, actually, there's two things I want to do. Firstly, they're both prayers. First, you'll pray to Vroga, and you keep one hand on the axe as if talking to Orsk, and he'll more or less just trying to say what he's planning to do, and say that he wishes there was another way, but he's been told that's what he's going to do, so he'll follow that and hope he's doing the right thing. And then the second one, he'll actually pray to Nankara.
Oh, hello. Neil, you hear that? Neil, you're getting to him.
He's gotten... we've spoken to Nankara before, so while he doesn't expect a reply, he's hoping for one of some sort. And what he'll more or less say is... Arbiter, I come with a mission. I've been told by representatives of Vroga himself I'm to seek you out. There's much we must discuss. We support you. I am trying to make my way to you. However, I'm not sure if I'll make the journey. Is there any advice or any way? Is there anything you can do to help me? That's it.
You get no response.
Motherfucker. All right. He will...
But to be fair, though, he never really responded to Neil either. I mean, he sent he took care of something when Neil was about to die before, but other than that, yeah. he's kind of, as he said to Neil, even in that moment, I'm a little busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't expect a reply. It was more of a he's hoping beyond hope because he's out of his depth, and Grishka turns to faith. That's
see, the problem is you're out of the depth. You're supposed to go into the depth.
Yeah, that is the problem. That is the problem indeed. Right. Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance. Roll religion, Scott. I could get that at 20.
Okay, feel free. Go ahead, roll religion. Go ahead.
No, that's cool.
You know what? I haven't had this chocolate. You know what? Actually, no, I'm not going to have chocolate. I had 2 ice cream cones before I went to sleep last night. I'm not going to have... I was going to have chocolate from Rosin, and I was like, wait, no. I pumped my body with way too much sugar last night before I went to sleep. Let's not do that.
Okay. So, yeah, then I'll get up and eat the kelp. Beautiful kelp.
Yep. It's prepared a myriad of ways. It's actually nice. It's like a kelp sampler. And so you're sitting there, and the flavor is okay on some of the options, but unfortunately there's only like a spoonful or 2 of each of those, and then it's absolutely atrocious on others. Sometimes it's chewy as fuck. You're like, is this actual shoe leather? And so on, so forth. Eventually you make your way through your interesting meal, and find your way out of the your bedroom, out of the inn, so on and so forth. Where are you heading? Or are you looking for your new friend whose name you never acquired?
Yeah, 100% I'm looking for my new friend. He's supposed to be staying here too, so.
Okay. So when you come out, you can actually wait a while. You wait, probably a good like 2 hours or so. And eventually your friend will actually come back, but not from one of the other rooms, but from being outside of the inn.
Yeah, before he gets in, are there many people or things in the inn?
Any people or things inside my apologies, what? Oh yeah, other
Like-
creature. Yeah. Yes. The
Is
working
there
person
a check
working.
I can make more or less like a gossip check or something like along those lines to kind of pick up?
Gossip check? Are we
I've
playing
been playing
Gilmore
Warhammer.
Girls RPG? What the fuck is this? Gossip
I've
check?
been playing Warhammer, okay, and it is a check in Warhammer.
Okay, well,
Um,
what the fuck?
I want to figure out if anybody knows of any other.
You can have
ways
a better like you could call you can have the same skill and call it like rumors instead of gossip. Because
Well,
like
it's
rumors,
gossip on
like,
the character
are there
sheet.
any rumors that I should be aware of, as opposed to, oh my god, okay, like so Cindy was down by the water cooler and she was totally blowing Brad right there, and like
Well,
Stacy
if
saw
while
Cindy
Cindy's
blowing
blowing Brad,
Brad.
she tells me where to go.
Gossip, Jesus. So you can roll your gossip check with a diplomacy if you're asking questions, so it's gather information, or perception if you're just listening in on others. But you're gonna have to recast that spell on yourself, of course.
Of course, yeah, I would do that. I mean, I would ask questions. I mean, you always start off with listening, but you know, it's probably not something that's just being discussed openly. You know, so he'll probably eventually start asking people.
Sure. So you wanna ask around.
Yeah.
And specifically, what you're asking around for.
27.
Specifically, what you're asking around for is
Known ways. Out of here. Yeah, probably that.
got nothing.
Right, well, I seem to run into one of the only people that knows anything.
The ways out of here. Let's say you can swim up, you can swim down, you can swim that way or that way. You know, you really got like a 3-dimensional 360. Choose an axis and
specifically travel between the planes. Okay, if I have to you know what I'm talking about.
But nobody here is either seems to have some generic way for you to go or is willing to share their own information.
Okay, well, I'll wait for the guy to come down. And
Okay.
comes to town.
And eventually they come into the inn from outside, and they'll make their way over to you. And again, it's one of those. I'm not gonna gurgle black coffee for you again. Something else
Gurgle
maybe, but
something
not black
else.
coffee.
I love that both of our minds went there.
We're talking about orange juice, to be clear. Extra
course.
pulp because I like it chunky. So
No, you didn't. Oh. Okay.
all right, moving on. Go ahead. They come in. They'll make their way over to you, and again they just give it a little head nod.
Yeah. There's something we could try. I don't know if it'll work or not, though. I can try and reach the place that I'm going with power from the gods, if they grant it to me. I don't know if they will or I'm able to or not. That would help us, but understand that you would be coming with me to, if it does work, to the negative plane before we come home.
And what protections would we be able to have while we're in the dark? Because I assume by what you're calling the negative plane, you're referring to the dark.
I don't know. I have a rapport of sorts with the one there. But I was told to go there, and I was told to have faith, though even if that works for me, it may not work for you. Is there anything that we could buy that could possibly help us from here?
I know that for those that traverse to this place, to where we are here, to my home, if they're not from here, there are magics that they can use to protect themselves. As I had said, it's cold and it's heavy here, as well as many people like you cannot naturally breathe inside the water here. There are places where you can buy various drinks and words that can be either consumed or read, and that gives you the ability to do these things, albeit for a limited time. I myself am not able to use these magics. I can of course drink from those vials, but I cannot read the words.
So did he say he can use the vials? Is that what he said? Sorry.
I can of course drink the vials. That's not plane shift. That's gate, which is a 9th level spell. Gate will connect between 2 different locations. Yeah. Actually, he didn't even transit because his instant transmission didn't go between planes, did it? It went across the same plane. In which case, then he just cast greater teleportation, right? Because I don't think he could instant transmit between different planes of existence. I think he just went across space. So I think it was just greater teleport. Anyways, continue. It's been a long time since I watched DBZ because I'm an adult.
Well, if this works, if we possibly stock up on some vials, we may be okay. Like I said, I need to go there, and if there is a way to avoid what could be a certain death for me, especially by traveling in a bubble, I'd prefer to take it. However, you've offered your help, and I'm willing to help you get back to where I'm from. But is that a risk that you're willing to take? Like I said, I don't even know if it'll work.
It is. It is a risk that I'm willing to take.
Okay.
I can, as I said beforehand, I can make a bubble large enough that the 2 of us could travel in it. But maintaining that bubble down into the deep, I don't know how to maintain that. You've said that you might have the ability to, I believe your phrasing was traverse the plains. If that's the case, you might also have magics to keep the bubble strong.
No, I'm no wizard.
Hmm.
I only have the abilities that my god grants me. And I don't know of any that have anything to do with bubbles.
Perhaps you do, or perhaps you just need to have faith.
Perhaps I'll look through the cleric spell list and see what there is around.
Shall I show you to the market where you can purchase such things?
Yes. That would be great. However, the exchange rate is probably not going to be too great. I don't know how many pearls they might cost, but where I'm from, a stay at an inn doesn't cost 40 gold for a night.
Yes.
Do you have anything to contribute for yourself even?
Nods and says, there are different qualities of pearls. Its color, its symmetry, how smooth the surface. These details are important for the currency. But it's also important when you collect pearls, because should you find yourself in a dangerous situation, pearls are fragile. They can easily be broken. Last thing you want is to have a pearl, a life's collection, destroyed. Powdered pearl has value as well, but it is far less value. You need much powder to equate one asymmetrical pearl and so on. I have this currency, of course. This is for where I'm from. And truth be told, not only have I gathered it through trade, I have also been fortunate enough to find myself delicious meals wherein I could gather the pearls at the same time. The creature that I am is very adept at prying open and consuming what it is that makes these pearls.
Can I make a check to identify this thing?
Unfortunately, you can't because you've never lived alongside an ocean. You have no fucking clue what an octopus or a squid is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Well, let's go to the market then.
So yeah, you start heading over to the market, and as I was saying beforehand, like the inner oysters, oyster shells, or whatever, how shiny they are, that pearl-like look or that opal-like sheen that they give. You're from Australia, you probably know opals pretty well, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Because Australia is, I think it's the only place on the planet we can get black opals, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the only place on the planet, but yeah, I know.
Or at least it's one of the biggest mines for black opals. So, do you personally own any black opals, or?
I went through a place once and we got given, I don't know, tiny things that I think were something like that, but it was a long time ago.
Got it. Well, I only ask because like different cultures, like in China, like everybody has a little bit of jade. You know, over here, it's super easy to get your hands on like amethyst, and what's the other stone that's like amethyst is like in Arizona. What's the one that's super common in California? It's like the hell is it? It's one of those cheaper stones. It's not citrine. Like peridot, I think is from like Colorado. I meant to say. I think peridot is like super common in Colorado, I think. So it's like people have tons of those because they're dirt fucking cheap in a country that produces them. So I was like, I wonder if how about you, Viking? You got a couple of opals? You guys be down in an area where
I mean, I live in the city, so we don't see that much of them. But
well, I didn't know if maybe if you like went down to the market and got some girly, some if you're like, oh, buy her some opals. They're not too expensive, but they looks nice. She'll be happy, No? All right.
Nah. I'm not supporting local businesses, okay?
Okay. That's cool. It's cool.
No, I haven't bought any opals.
Oh, no, I was just curious because I think black opals are at least predominantly, if not exclusively, from Australia. But either way, moving on. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, opal. The reason why I know so much fucking about opal is because my wife, my daughter, my mother, like my whole fucking family is October. That's the birthstone of October. Fucking everybody's opal. Eric, my father-in-law, my best friend, 3 of my ex-girlfriends, everybody's fucking October. Winters around here are cold. You got to keep warm somehow. So, all right. So, moving on. You, see, almost every black opal is from New South Wales. There you go. Australia. Thank you, Anno. So, you're making your way downtown, walking fast, faces past Pearlbound. So you, sorry, my brain's not working. Oh, my brain is not working. Oh, you go into the market and you're looking for various things. Marketplace, it's unique. It's different. There's again a myriad of different races and whatnot that are here. But this person kind of like cuts their way through the crowd with their 2 weird looking arms and their 4 weird looking legs over to an area where they sell things like potions and whatnot that you can purchase them. Walking up to the marketeer that is there, you can ask about things like, potions to be able to survive the deep and so on and so forth, like survive traveling here, water breathing. You actually very quickly come to realize a simple potion, glug glug, that allows you to breathe water. It actually does more than just simply breathe water. It actually gives you the ability to resist the temperatures and the pressure of water that you're breathing. And where you are here, if you just glug glug one of those water breathing potions, it actually does all that for you to survive. If you dove out of this big dome of bubble thing, it would actually allow you to survive out there comfortably. However, if you were to swim pretty far down, you would actually need almost like a greater water breathing potion, which allows you to survive down pretty fucking deep, to allow you to survive that kind of pressure, that kind of water, to like work out the saline, the salt or whatever, and that kind of temperature. But more than that, and a simple one would be fine for other like people's like him. For kind of like stepping up almost like it's like a scale up for them. But when you start talking about, well, we're not looking just to go down, we're looking to go into the deep, and like you have to describe what it is you're doing, they're like, oh, that's different. That's a different kind of magic. You would need to have, and they give you a different potion that you would be able to use. They say this potion here, this would allow you to be able to survive going into that plane, going into that place, as though you were here. So you have to like stack. Okay, I need the water breathing of this place, and I need this thing to allow that place to become like this place. But they would be able to stack to allow you to go through that. And they're like, are you going to be there for a long time? Because these only last for so long. And they're like, well, actually, I'm looking to travel through the deep and into the dark. And they're like, getting into the dark, I've got nothing for you. Well, I've got a little something, but I've got nothing really to help you out there. Truth be told, the way that from what I understand it works down there is it's not that it's just cold. It's like that the whole place is biting. It's like you're alive and it doesn't want you to be. Not like a shark wants to eat you. Not like the air is hard to breathe and so you're gonna just die. It's almost like the place doesn't want you alive, and so it's trying to like nip away and kill you. Luckily, if you have things that can keep you alive, I'm sure you seem like a kind of person that's been in a fight or two. You've healed with magic before, right? You've drank potions or whatever that's healed you before, right? Yeah?
Yep.
Well, as that thing's nipping away and trying to kill you, those things will give you like a little bit of a refresh and allow you to keep on going longer, as you can feel your life draining out. Glug, it keeps you going. So you're gonna need a degree of that to stay alive. Your best bet is to know a couple of spells, but having potions on hand or even a wand can go a long ways for you. Do you have a wand or anything like that can keep the biting at bay?
No, I don't. I'm not able to use a wand.
You're not. Anybody can use a wand. You just got to learn the swish and flick. Swish and flick. It's important that you enunciate the right way. Leviosa, not leviosa. Like swish and flick.
Well. Out of game, what's the DC required to cast
a spell from a wand?
That's yeah.
It's a flat DC 20 use magic device. If it's a spell that's on your spell list and you have access to it, it's free. So you are an Inquisitor,
list, but I don't have access to it. I don't have it. No.
But it's on your spell list. Cure Light Wounds. Yes.
Yes.
Then yes. Then you have access to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Okay.
There's one more limitation. Let's say, for instance, this wand of cure light wounds was a wand that was actually created by a what class? Like an oracle, which casts spells through charisma instead of intelligence or wisdom, right? And because it's a first level spell, it requires charisma 11 to freely use this. If you don't have the charisma of 11, then technically you have to make a check. But if it's a wand made by a cleric, which casts off of wisdom, well, you already have the wisdom and you have the spell in your spell list. You're good to go. What's Grishka's charisma score?
-1.
So he's got like an 8 or 9.
So pretty much, I just have to put my hand on the wand, and if I kind of get some type of glow and my hair goes like this, I'll know it's, cast by a cleric or something. That'll be good.
So yeah, you could grab that, like you said, and that's got 50 charges if you buy it fully brand new, and so that and they are, if you're on the material plane and get it at market value, not base market value, but like basic price, it's 750 gold. But here, the conversion rate's not really in your favor. So
yeah, not at all.
Unless you want to go, swan diving, go shrimping.
No, not at all. All right, so these things that I need, give me a estimate so far.
Depends on how much of each you want. Want to get your hands in a wand? Where he's like, I know a guy. If you're looking to get a wand, I don't have those over here. But if you go over there and you talk to Timmy, he'll help you out.
Yeah, well, from the potion guy. So what are the three potions that I need? One's water breathing, I assume. What's the second one?
Water breathing, and the other one is actually planar adaptation. So let's look this up real quick, eh, buddy? So water breathing spell of water breathing is a 3rd level spell. 3rd level potions go for what, 300 gold a piece, I think, maybe more.
Shit, I'm not gonna have the money for this stuff. That's an issue.
Luckily, that's on the cleric spell list. 2 hours per level. So base one is going to be 5th level. It's going to last for 5 hours per potion. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be like, each person can breathe water for 5 hours. Woo-wee. That's great. Let's see. Pathfinder Potions. Just confirming cost. Mm-hmm. 3rd level, sorry, it's 1050? No, 750. 750 per potion for a 3rd level spell. Hold up a sec. A 3rd level spell on a wand is 11,250. So wand of water breathing would allow you to spam it. Spam. Let's see. And then we also mentioned...
How much did you say that was? 1150?
Yeah, 11,000. So, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Hold on. What's the word I'm looking for? There we go. You're like, I wish I had... I want my BP. Planar adaptation is a 5th level spell.
You can't even get potions for stuff like that.
No, it would have to be a scroll.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, there is a prestige class that allows you to brew up to, I think, 6th level potions. So in theory, you actually could. They're just prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
Usually you want a magic item that does that kind of a thing.
Adaptation.
5th level spell. What level spells can you normally cast up to?
Oh, that's right. I can cast 5th level cleric spells, but only at the moment only 3rd Inquisitor. Alright, well, none of this is gonna work. can't get the planner adaptation, can't get we might get one potion of water breathing, but even so, that's not going to be enough. It's hard not to see this as like complete and outright suicide. So I'm going to need... Yeah, I really... This is both got me and, by extension, Grishka. Like, it doesn't seem like an actual option. So, I mean, I'm not just going to throw my life away and be like, meh, fuck it, let's just get in a bubble, even though, you know, we've been told that we need these things to survive there anyway.
So do you say something to your friend here?
I mean, yeah, I'd flat out say this seems like suicide for me, at least.
I thought the plan was for us to acquire these different items to be able to survive the travels.
Yes, but I don't have my money is different. My currency is gold where I'm from, and that exchanges very badly here. And for the amount of stuff we need and the cost, it won't help in the slightest.
I understand. It's cost prohibitive. It then takes 2 arms that you didn't know it had out from underneath the small amount of clothing that it has, and you realize, oh, 4 legs and 4 arms. Weird. Didn't expect that. And it pulls out a bag that it has inside there. As its arms come out, you can see it's holding a couple of like sacks with it that seem to be like almost like stuck, because it's like whatever material it's made out of, to the various suction cups along its, I'm saying arm, but let's be clear, it's a tentacle along its arm that's there. And it says, well, perhaps this will cover the costs for you. As I said beforehand, literally, I eat the creatures that are that produce these pearls. It's a good living. You get a delicious meal, as well as making a profit at the same time. It's one of the best living that someone like me could possibly have. Maybe this would be able to assist you?
That takes care of the problem of me being able to breathe underwater. Though, for both of us, to adapt to the different plane, we cannot cast it. Neither you or I can cast such things.
Perhaps we are going about this the wrong way. As I said beforehand, there is a bubble that we'd be able to use. The bubble does a degree of the work for us. As the potion person said, there is a potion that we would use to be able to allow you to breathe, but a second one that allows us to not just breathe, but to help filter out a bit of the salt. Perhaps a combination of what the bubble is able to do intrinsically and that secondary potion would be what we could use to survive. It's a bit of a risk, but potentially the 2 layers would work for us in our favor. The important part is being able to discover how it is that we can go about ensuring the bubble doesn't burst, ensuring that it holds strong.
That sounds... If you're willing, then we can acquire those things that will allow us to travel, but then we do have that obstacle again. Is there a difference between what you're able to make with the bubble and if we bought one off someone who is used to doing that?
There is. I'm able to gather and hold with my 8 tentacles. The bubble and hold it strong enough and hold it together. It's a skill I learned a long time ago in other interactions with people like you. But the strength of it is not very great. Others are adept at creating them using magic. It'll hold as long as we need it to, and here, and perhaps they can even just make it more powerful. Would you like me to go and inquire and see if I could find someone that's willing to do this for us?
I think if we are to travel that way, I think that's probably best rather than take the risk.
Nods and says, perhaps you should take that, gesturing towards the sack that it just kind of like gave over to you, and purchase what it is that you need here. I will go and inquire what I can, and we will see if we can leave this place.
He nods and he thanks the creature. And then he will, purchase what we need.
So it's going to walk out the door, or off, I should say, to go where it's going. Shortly after it walks off, we're talking 30 seconds later as you're turning back, you're like, all right, I'm going to start seeing what it is I can buy with, I think I'm going to need this amount as you start saying that. And they're like, okay, let me see what I have for stock, sort of a thing, as they go checking that out. You hear in your mind, 1.
Is it a voice I recognize?
Not really, no.
Oh. Kind of be taken aback a bit. And for comfort, once again, he'd probably grab hold of his axe and he'd just say, yes.
Out loud?
Probably.
Okay. 1. We need to discuss. Step outside. Turn right. Walk a bit. Turn left. There's an alley. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He just says to the guy, see how many items you have. I'll be back in a little while.
You're not going to go running off on me, are you? I mean, I'm doing all this work and getting this together. You're going to purchase, right?
Of course, seeing as I have to leave, it's my only way, so you're safe there.
I'm just going to be really ticked if you you just disappear right after I get everything together. I'm just going to be really ticked, he says, and starts grabbing stuff as you go to leave the place.
Yeah. So I walk out the door and I follow those directions.
Okay, and you go follow the directions until you go down to an alleyway. And when you do, you eventually see standing there before you, like kind of like stepping out of almost like shadow to stand there before you, a not small creature, large, very evil looking, covered in spikes all over. You realize, though I don't think I've ever seen it before with my own eyes, I know exactly who this is. I've heard them described to me many times.
Have we not seen him?
Neil has. I don't know. Has
I've seen
Krishna?
him. Yeah, he has when we used the first spoon.
After the... Oh, that's right. You did. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. My apologies. That's when you noticed the transition. That's right. So you see a what you believe is a familiar looking devil standing there. Massive in size, long tail, covered in rigid spine, almost look like rocky points coming off of it. Excuse me. My apologies. Says 1.
Fancy seeing you here.
He says, or do you prefer I go by Grishka?
No, that's not for you to call me.
He says,
Yes.
It's on the contract.
Yes, well, the name I gave you is 1, and you may refer to me as such.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Shinny. God damn it. He says, let's skip past the pleasantries and get to the details. There's danger. I thought I would make you aware of.
Okay. What's the danger?
You finally made your way back into the string of time, and time has passed. You don't realize this, but Raerin is not at home, sleeping in his bed.
Oh. I do realize this. I was already informed.
He is
Once more with feeling.
in danger. A considerable amount of it.
He looks expectantly, like, okay.
He is about to be... No, he says he is currently face to face with a god from whom he stole 10,000 souls. I don't think you understand, Grishka, with your nonchalant attitude. You have one chance here. Raerin is going to die.
Grishka doesn't have good feelings for this thing. He's been avoiding ever since they used the first one and everything went to shit. It's he's quite suspicious to say the least. I'll roll a sense motive on it.
Go ahead.
That's right. You gotta try, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, devils don't lie.
True. He would just say, you know this for a fact.
He is going to die, and you don't understand what that means.
What does it mean?
I'll keep it short and simple for you. There is one chance to collect his soul. One chance to stop it from where it's going, and then it will not be able to be retrieved again.
He looks at it and he says, have you spoken with Raerin?
I have,
Did he want
but
to
it was some time ago.
And he was in the same place?
Same place, different situation. The time is ticking. You will have rejoined it. It matters now. You have one chance.
I think you better ask Raerin himself.
I cannot go there. I cannot
You've
go.
already been there.
You don't understand. I am now not welcome.
He looks at it and he says, we must have faith. I have faith in Broga, and Raerin has faith in Nankara.
It laughs. It says, faith. Faith has nothing to do here. You have one choice, and you have moments to make the decision. We have a contract, and by that contract, all of your souls are free to be done with in the afterlife as pertains to your actions and whatever other dealings you make. If that contract is broken, your souls belong to me. That is your only opportunity to not have it go where it is going. You break the contract, and his soul belongs to me. Then you know where it will be. You don't break the contract, and it goes where it goes.
Just stopping for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So what's it saying? If Raerin dies, the contract is broken.
No. He's saying right now, by your contract, you were given boons and your souls were released.
Yeah.
So your soul is going to go. He has no hand in where your soul is going. He has no hand in it because your souls belong to you, or whatever happens to happen to them. But he's saying if the contract was broken, that's no longer true. Your souls actually belong to him, per your previous deal with him ages ago, season 1, right?
What does he want me to break the contract?
If he wants you to break the contract wherein your soul should actually belong to him, and he followed that up with, because then you would know where his soul is.
No.
He nods and says, "It's so foolish of you mortals, so distrusting. Better the demon you know." Sorry, my apologies, he would never say that. "Better the devil you know, is it not?"
I'll put my faith in the God that I worship.
Rather than the one he faces. You've made your decision.
I have.
Then live.
If Raerin wants your help, he will ask.
He says he's beyond asking. And nods and says, "Enjoy your faith." And will step out of this plane of existence. And with that, we will actually end our segment with Jake, so we can enter into Neil's segment.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah. Yep. So, how was your session?
Well,
How'd you
looks
do?
like I'm staying up now.
Yeah,
I was getting ready to go to bed, but
Yeah, the fun part
interesting
is
things happening now.
this next creature. Do I role play it as a slime creature? Like,
Yeah. I think your views will skyrocket with that.
yeah.
Might get featured on the Twitch page.
Like, look at this DM. Really plays into it. Really plays into it.
What color is the slime god? You could quickly use some face paint and get right into it.
I have to go to work after this. I'll sit there and wash my face. Show up at work and they're like, "What are you into?" "Christmas spirit. I was dressed as the Grinch."
Once more with feeling.
You know what I mean? Is that what Britt's into? She was kind of hoping you'd steal her Christmas. No? Huh? Oh, Jesus. Anyways, this is Smurf play. Oh my God. All right. Well, thank you,
guys.
Arklo. We're going to bounce out of here. I have to go get food in my belly. I did bring a pear down here, but I've been chatting the whole time, so I didn't get an opportunity to. It's like border where it's ripe, but it's not soft. So it's like almost like biting into an apple. In my opinion, best way to eat a pear. All right.
Don't disagree.
I'm going to go run upstairs so I can go pee and grab food real quick. Why don't you do me a favor and ping Neil for me?
Sure thing.
All right. I will be I'll be right back, everybody. Let's make this happen. Bye.